More of the same, please. Jermaine Genius and even Danny Murphy are still smiling after week one. We begin at the Etihad. Champions Manchester City lost their opening game at Spurs. Newly promoted Norwich were beaten 3-0 by Liverpool. Commentary
against Norwich City at the Etihad.
Today was a result, a consequence for the performance, so normally it's happened, so we played really good.
Seemed to be so much versatility out there in terms of when the players came on, the changes in position. Was that something that really pleased you?
I don't like the players move too much. I prefer the ball goes where the players are. This is the positional game, and we insist every day on that, and everyone today, the fullbacks, the central defenders, everyone was in his position.
Yeah, disappointed with the way we concede the goals, because 4 times we conceded more or less the same goal, and now Pep conceded 4 times more or less the same goal. That's pretty disappointing.
You got the man of the match. You didn't score a goal, but you had a great game. How did you feel you played today?
I feel good. I feel good. I get my confidence back, my energy back. You know, all the time I like to play forever aware. When the manager tries to me to play, I try to do my best always.
It's one of the reasons why when you wake up in the morning, go to work, is to see this type of players, this type of human beings. His mom and dad has to be so proud to have a person like him, and can play a striker, can play left, can play right, and always what the team needs. Always can come play 10 minutes from the bench, play the best 10 minutes he can play. So it's fantastic. So all of us will have to learn of him, and I'm more than satisfied that he was nominated as a man of the match.
Yeah, Pep's happy. City's first win of the season. Jesus. His parents should be very happy, but Daniel Farke far from happy. He said they conceded the same goal from four occasions.
Yeah, and rightly so. Look, it's been a very tough start to the season for Norwich. There's no doubt about that. You know, with Liverpool last week and then going to the Etihad, you know, this afternoon, always going to be tough. But I just feel when watching them, like if they keep defending the way that they are, then the same thing's going to happen even if they come up against kind of lesser teams in the league. City were brilliant and they were at their best. But I think we all knew that how the result was going to go today. But the naivety in some of Norwich's defending was unacceptable, really, at times.
But what was obvious to me today was when I saw the City line-up, I thought they mean business. Walker was back in, Laporte was back in, Rodri to beef up the midfield.
They're just gradually coming back from the big tournaments, aren't they? I suppose, and getting their fitness. But you know, we know City are going to be a threat. Yeah, poor start to last week, but they're on their way.
100%. I think they have been slow starters in the past. You know, I think that little kind of nod
last season.
Yeah, and I think that little nod to Gabriel Jesus today was kind of Pep's way of saying this is a lad who's, you know, has always been working day in, day out in training, performing well, and I think, you know, City are going to be up there again. Let's be honest, it was a brilliant performance.
OK, well, Leeds beaten 5-1 at Manchester United. We're back in front of a capacity crowd at Ellen Road for the first time since returning to the Premier League. Everton made a winning start under Rafa Benitez against Southampton. Martin Fisher, watch this one.
I am really pleased with the way that we reacted, we approached the game, and then the commitment of the players. So it's what you are expecting at the beginning of the time. So I said before, Marcelo Bielsa has been 3 years working with this team. We have been 6 weeks. So then I am expecting that we will improve, but I was really pleased with the way that we were doing things today.
Damari, congratulations on your first goal. I thought your celebrations was going to take you in amongst the supporters for a moment.
Yeah, went flying, to be fair. I think it was on the front flip, but just delighted to get off the mark, help the team, score in front of the away fans. I think overall, we could have took more out of the game, but we'll take the point today.
We dominated a large portion of the game more than the opponent.
Pero en función de ese dominio,
but in function of that dominance,
deberíamos haber sufrido menos situaciones de gol en nuestro arco.
We should have suffered less chances in our goal.
Y deberíamos haber creado más situaciones de gol en el arco rival.
And we should have created more chances in their end.
Dom's initiated the contact. He's a big, strong boy. He's got hold of my shirt, and I've got hold of his. And sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not. It is what it is. Obviously gutted. It was given against me. But it's one of those things. Hopefully that'll even itself out over the season. But there's definitely 2 players pulling shirts there.
Yeah, we'll come to that. We'll have a little look at that one shortly. As is customary, Danny, with Leeds, fabulous game of football, end-to-end stuff. Twice they came from behind.
Well, it was great to see Ellen Road bouncing again, having the fans inside. I felt, after they capitulated at Old Trafford last week, I felt I went 2-1. When Everton went to 2-1, they showed great character to come back into the game. They dominated possession. They played with the energy we always see them play with. But Rafinha was the man for me. And the game deserved a goal like that.
Yeah, gorgeous goal. And Rafinha wasn't the only wide man to impress. Everton had one as well, didn't he? Yeah. Damari Gray, I mean, could be one of the bargains of the season.
Yeah, 1.5 million by Leverkusen is it could be incredible business, but I think this is kind of like Damari Gray's career now. I think at Leicester he had those moments of brilliance where you thought, wow, we're going to see a player. And
never been a lack of ability. That's
and that's why this move is a really important one for him.
Steve Bruce was in charge of Aston Villa the last time they lost a league game against Newcastle. That was in the Championship. Both these teams were beaten in their opening matches, and Guy Mowbray was at Villa Park.
And luckily it went in the back of the net.
Good win for Aston Villa. Crowds back everywhere. It's great to see. Dean Smith was happy, and after the game I spoke to him. Dean, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations, you're off and running. First points of the season, always a relief.
Yeah, it certainly is. It was an OK performance, but a much better result, one that we needed after the performance last week.
You mentioned the performance last week. You were clearly very unhappy with the first half in particular. How good was it to get that response?
Yeah, it was really good. We just lacked intensity last week, and I called it an international friendly, which it looked like. You can't do that when you got 42,000 here at Villa Park, and the intensity levels were up, but we also had to defend very well as well at times.
Danny Ings, one of your new players, scored in both games, penalty last week and an absolutely cracking goal today. He's made a fabulous start for you.
Yeah, he has. I mean, I bought a set-piece coaching in the summer, and he'll be taking plenty of kudos for that goal as well. But
was it one of his though, Dean, or was it yours?
I'll give him that one. It was one of his. Matt Cash has got a long throw, and why not utilise it? And a super finish, and it's one we've seen him do against us enough times. So it's great that he's an Aston Villa player now scoring goals like that.
Danny, of course, was one of the 3 players bought with the money from Jack Grealish. Now, I don't want to, promise you it's the last time I ask you about Jack Grealish. He's moved on. But how difficult is it to prepare for a new season when you've got, your superstar? Is he going to leave? Is he not? Who do I bring in? Did that disrupt things much?
It didn't, to be honest, because we had an idea that might happen, and we had a plan if that was going to happen. I think probably the biggest disruptions this season have been, obviously, we've had the Euros, the Copa America and the Olympics, and we've had players in all them tournaments, so some players still aren't up to speed as you would like them. So at the moment it's building blocks, trying to get them where we want them to be.
What's the target for this season?
To improve on last season. We felt that we were just shy of a top half finish this season. We want to be pushing into that top half and see where we can go with that.
Well, it's a good start today, getting your first 3 points of the season, Dean. And thanks very much for talking to us. Wish you well.
Yeah, thanks, Gary, and you.
Yep, first 3 points for Villa. Just shows you how important set pieces are, doesn't it? Really, we've seen it so many times over the years. The long throw-in. Danny Ings didn't want to give us the routine, but I'm sorry, Danny, we're going to have a look at it.
Yeah, we are. We're going to pick it apart.
Long throw.
You get those little moments in the game where you can create special moments for somebody like Danny Ings to stick the ball in the back of the net, and they did that.
We've seen more of it now. Klopp brought one in, didn't he, as well, talking about throwing coaches and stuff. It's just those, as you said, the little fractions that might make a difference.
You've got set-piece coaches, defensive coaches, forward coaches. I don't know what the actual coach does anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
he's head of the coaches.
We've been having long throws for decades, haven't we? It's something that's a real tool.
Yeah, but in business, in great businesses, it's about the people that you bring around you, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're utilising. It's like from other sports as well. In the NFL, they are defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. Wherever you can lighten the load and increase value on your side, surely you're going to take that on.
I think set pieces is something that normal coaches can do. You don't need to bring in a specific set-piece coach. Personally, I don't think.
Oh, that's all right. You're perfectly entitled to your opinion. Steve Bruce was pretty unhappy with the two decisions. What did?
Well, it is the rules.
OK. There's a triple header in Match of the Day 2. Liverpool's 68-game unbeaten run at Anfield was brought to an end by Burnley last season. The two met again today with the Kop in full voice for the first time in almost 18 months. Your commentator, Steve Bauer.
Jurgen, 3 points, clean sheet, fans back. Is that a pretty perfect day for you, given the challenge of the opposition as well?
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's one of the trickier one, obviously, against Burnley. The things they do, they're nearly perfect, to be honest. You have to work incredibly hard to get any little kind of advantage.
The game, particularly in the first half, was good. I was pleased with that. Should have had a penalty, in my opinion. It's going to be strange this season now because they've been told to let it flow more. So there's too much soft stuff again today, but then a hard one and we don't get it. But saying that, they turned into Liverpool, which you know, for 20 minutes second half. They scored the second. And it's tough, but I thought we kept going. Our mentality was firm today, particularly at the end when we have a couple of...
It's always a different feeling. Now is what it counts, and I think it was a great way to start my full Anfield campaign.
For seasons for somebody so young, yeah.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? So yeah, I know. That's what can I say? He's just a wonderful, wonderful talent.
Yeah, Harvey Elliott, long career ahead of him. There's no question about that. But Danny, you want to focus on someone at the other end of his career who caught your eye?
Yeah, well, Jordan Henderson was tremendous, but just before I go on to him, I think it is worth mentioning Harvey Elliott. He grew into the game. You can see the confidence he's got, and also some of the exquisite passing from Trent. You know, it's a joy to watch at times, especially when Liverpool are playing with that confidence. But Burnley did do okay in the first half. But Jordan Henderson has come back in the team, looks fit, looks sharp. His passing was good. He was leading. He was barking. He was back to his best. But great to see him back. I think every Liverpool supporter wants to see the contract get signed. And after losing Ronaldo, I think that's very important.
Yeah. Sean Dyche thought Burnley should have had a penalty.
I disagree. You know, I think that it's just a coming together of shoulders. I think shoulder into him is maybe strong and might have been given last season, but I don't think it's a penalty. Managers
generally see things their own way. There's been a lot of talk as well about letting the game flow, and Jurgen Klopp's had his say post-match over the concern. And he said, there's one message now, let the game flow, and now nobody knows exactly what that means. I like all decisions in favour for the offensive team, that's fine, but we have to stick to protecting the players. We cannot deny that completely and say, that's a challenge, I love watching that, then watch wrestling if you like those kind of things. So, is he managerial games here, going into fixtures ahead? I mean, most people I've spoken to like the fact that, because really all we're talking about is stopping the nudges of players and diving over. That's what we want to stop, isn't it? I don't think we're talking about serious foul play.
No. And, you know, in other interviews, I think, you know, post-match, he mentioned Brownhill and challenges from other players as well. But from Barnes and Wood. But we'd kind of had a look. We watched the game. We didn't see any of those challenges. So we've come to the conclusion this is game playing.
Yeah.
You know, he's thinking about Chelsea next week. He's putting things in referees' heads. Yeah. You know, the great managers have done it for years, and he's just doing the same thing.
I didn't see Van Dijk.
Ferguson, Mourinho, Wenger, they all played those.
But ultimately, Van Dijk and Matip, they actually did well with the battle. They enjoyed it. They weren't moaning.
They loved it.
We'll move on. Two teams next who got off to the best possible start. Brighton came from behind to beat Burnley, whilst Watford were 3-2 winners over Aston Villa on their return to the top flight. Steve Wilson was at the Amex Stadium.
We felt like we wanted to get the third goal. We had a couple of chances to get that. And then as the game goes on and they throw more and more bodies in terms of attacking players on, it becomes harder to control things, and then you have to just defend and make sure you see the game out, which we did really well.
It's been a long year, and I've missed the place, so it was good reception. The fans were brilliant all day, and
we need to learn quickly about the Premier League. Our first half now was a good level. I think after always I was thinking in positive things. The positive things is the second half. The team give a very good performance. I think it's one step more, and we need to continue with the same ambition, with the same power for try to learn quickly for this is first half.
Bissouma gives you such energy in midfield, doesn't he? I mean, it wasn't the only time he picked off a pass when it set up the goal for Mopé, of course.
Yeah, he did really well. He's so fast and strong, and then for us, it's nice that we could win the ball and then play forward, play the correct pass. It gives Neil a great chance to score. It's an area we've tried to improve, and nice when one goes in for you.
I must say, that's a very impressive beard that Graham Potter's done. We perhaps call him Harry Potter. And a great start, too, for Brighton. First time in their history, in top-flight history, that they've won their opening 2 games of a season. And they played some good football, didn't they? And Bissouma is a player that I think every time we watch them, we're impressed by him.
Well, I enjoy watching Brighton generally. They had a real cutting edge to them today. He was brilliant, Bissouma.
Cal, that's a man that's enjoying life in the Premier League at Brighton Football Club. I don't think he'll go anywhere with this win, though.
No, he's excellent. What a start to life in the Premier League for Brentford. 2-0 winners against Arsenal. Next up, another London derby against a Crystal Palace side beaten 3-0 by Chelsea. Simon Brotherton was at Selhurst Park.
Yeah, I didn't have any doubt about the way, and we were going to improve, to play better than we did against Chelsea. I always say that I'm really pleased with the attitude that players show every day in training, and today was a positive performance. Of course, a frustration because you want to win the game, you want to score goals.
Intense atmosphere. I think the Crystal Palace fans were good. I think our fans were even better. I thought they were amazing to back us throughout the game. I have this feeling after this game that I'm a little bit, I want more. I think we were slightly edgy to be the better side. I think we pressed fantastic. We only gave one big chance away to Gallagher. But we lack the final quality on the ball. We need a little bit more coolness and composure. I think it's positive that we think we still have an extra level to take from this game.
Yeah, we'll come to Brentford shortly, but first point for Patrick Vieira, but no goals as yet.
No, you know what, though, as 0-0s go, you know, the intensity in this game was really good, I think, from both teams today. Palace were probably just about edged it as the better side and the side that was trying to win the game. My fear for them was, you know, with all that endeavour and that, Patrick Vieira is going to want out. He's going to have to work on, and he's going to have to adjust to get those wins.
Early days. Brentford, though, 4 points in 2 games, yet to concede a goal. Superb start.
Great start for them. 8 clean sheets in the last 10 games, would you believe? So it shows how good they are defensively, and yeah, great news for them. Really positive, and lots to look forward to for Brentford fans.
Indeed. We're out of time, Danny, Jermaine, thank you very much. But before we go, let's have a look at the Premier League table. 2 teams lead the way with 2 wins from 2 games. Liverpool topping the pile on goal difference ahead of Brighton. Unbeaten Everton and Brentford lead the chase ahead of a Manchester City side who got off the mark today with a thumping win, of course, over Norwich, which sees the Canaries propping up the division. Newcastle and Burnley join Norwich in the bottom 3, having also lost both of their opening fixtures. Let's see what the Sunday papers have to say. Here we go, says the Sun and the Telegraph, as they both focus on Jack Grealish getting up and running for Manchester City. Ear jokes. Outrageous. The Express, meanwhile, lead on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's insistence that Paul Pogba won't be leaving Manchester United this summer. So, Manchester City win a Premier League game for the first time in 90 days. Crisis over.